Today in the crypto space, we're getting a bit of volatility and to the upside. Bitcoin right around 85,700, up approximately 4.5%. And we have Ethereum moving to higher levels, back above the $2,000 mark, up approximately 8%. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins looking nice and green with good moves to the upside for XRP, Solana, Sui, Cardano, and many others. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Bitcoin today, guys, because of course we do have some news coming out from the Feds about inflation and ultimately whether interest rates are going to go up and down. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Alright guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the chat. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here, guys. We're getting a bit of volatility as Jerome Powell did mention that there's obviously going to be no interest rate hike. We're going flat here with interest rates, which is great. And while we're seeing the economic, environment looking okay, it's looking okay, nothing really crazy. And that's exactly what we want. We want stability. We want a little bit of certainty. That would be great. And we bought ourselves a bit of certainty until the next Fed meeting. And that's where we generally start to see the markets react. And this is what we're seeing here right now. No interest rates. Obviously, that's good. And ultimately, it's priced in and people expected it and so on and so forth. So we're seeing the markets kind of look pretty good and confident. That's what we kind of want to see is a confident market. And as we see Bitcoin jumping to higher levels, breaking above previous highs. That's a good look, no doubt, on the lower time frames for sure. 85,700 more or less. Ethereum breaking psychological resistance at 2,000 back above. Okay, we can celebrate, no doubt. We're going to celebrate this 8% move on Ethereum. We celebrate all pumps here on the channel, guys. And then as you can see, we're getting a 12% move for XRP. Its legal cases are done and over with, which is great. Get thrown out, and obviously good for XRP and good for the crypto space altogether. Because ultimately, certainty is what we want. A little bit more clarity. And having all these legal cases thrown out the window is obviously healthy for the space in general. And as we keep on going down, guys, we're seeing some green. We definitely see an average of about, I would say, 5%, maybe 10, depending on what you're looking at, which is healthy. We do see Chainlink 7% to the upside, not making a higher high so far. So there's opportunity still for break of structures to the upside or even complete change of characters on higher time frames. And this is what I want to talk about today is Bitcoin potentially working on a change of character on the daily or even on the 4-hour. And these could be early clues of a reversal on this bigger retracement that we've been seeing in the last little while, this downtrend that I've been talking about on a daily basis. And I definitely don't want to front run and take that risk, but I want to be prepared. I want to be prepared for that reversal because this is where a strong reversal with volume and market participation could definitely do well. And we can see, as by the way, that the market cap rose up 4% back to $2.9 trillion with a bit of volume to the upside, which is great. Healthy, right? So that's what we kind of want here, guys. Healthy market. We want to see the market cap rise. We want to see market participation, but we want it to be sustainable. We don't want to be temporary. We wouldn't want a temporary pump. We want something that's going to be sustainable and take us to the next level. Hyperliquid looking very strong today. Very, very strong, up 13%. That looks great. Any dips should be bought. Near protocol, another one that I have my eyes on, is up approximately 11%, guys. I've been talking about Near. I've been talking about Hyperliquid. These are my next buy orders, even if they're on spot. On the weekend, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm getting to timed DCA at this current moment. I think it's great, and obviously waiting for proper structure so that I can DCA heavier. But timed DCA is great. It's going to make it brainless. It's going to make it easy. But at the same time, I'm not going to get too aggressive with it. It's going to be nice and slow and steady, DCAing on a weekly basis on my top projects that I want to accumulate. And I'm going to be focusing on larger caps. And of course, Near Protocol is one of them. Tapping into that AI narrative. Which other large cap can I really look at, to be honest? And Near protocol is probably the safest bet for me. I've been following Near protocol for a good while. I do realize that, you know, a little bit of improvement with regards to you know, earning and ecosystem is definitely there, but as far as their tech stack, it's good. So I'm going to take a bit of risk there. We have Ondo going sideways still, no major expansion out of this bullish green move, but we got VeChain waking up, as you can see, and we get a lot of them waking up, making higher highs. Some of them are not, but some of them are, which is a good sign, right? Good sign. A lot of us are thinking that maybe this could be the ultimate moment to start seeing the market reverse and see maybe even a potential altcoin season up until, you know, at the end of the year. Maybe that's possible, guys. There's a lot of possibilities here, given the fact that this bull run, this cycle, has really changed things up for a lot of us. If you think about it cyclically, you know, this is a very different cycle. So now, because of that, everything is possible. If you think about it, statistically speaking, if the probability is to follow the trend, well, guess what, guys? The trend has changed. Cyclically is a trend. Every 4 years we had a very typical, you know, market. Nowadays it's not the same. So that means the trend has changed. And with that being said, it doesn't mean that we have to come down. And what it means is that maybe we go parabolic as well. Maybe this dip could be the last heavy dip that we've gotten in a good while, to anticipate a bigger move, bigger than we've gotten in a good while also. So this is something that we ought to anticipate, that this volatility and this regulatory clarity and obviously the bullishness coming out of, you know, the new administration is amazing for crypto and the whole you know, market in general. So this is looking good, guys. We're getting a lot of green. I'm not getting overly excited here because, of course, I don't want to get emotional over a 5% pump. You know, I know a lot of projects are looking a lot better than others, but I don't want to get emotional over this, guys. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Ultimately, Bitcoin is doing its thing. It's still in a downtrend, as you can see, the daily lower lows and lower highs. However, things are changing, and this is interesting because maybe we are getting the confirmations of a change of direction. However, we got to be clear, we got to be honest, and we got to see the data as it is. And let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. So what I do see here is, like, really on the daily, nothing has changed. As you follow all the tops, top, bottom, top. I'm doing this loosely, as you can see. Bottom, lower, low, higher, low, lower, high, lower highs and lower lows, all the way down in a downtrend. Clear. We're not going to negotiate that. It's clearly in a downtrend. Now, if we start going on lower time frames, I'm just going to quickly go to the 4 hour and kind of show you that the 4 hour is also somewhat in a downtrend, right? Right now, we are currently considering the break of the trend, right? Because we're breaking this trend line. However, a true break of trend doesn't only mean breaking trend line. It also means creating a market structure shift that suggests that it's ready to pivot as well. Because in the meantime, although we are breaking the trend, as you can see, we're breaking the top trend, we have to understand that the trend relies on this entire range. This is a trend in itself. This whole thing is a trend. Okay, now in order to get this whole thing trending and looking like it's ready to move to the upside, where it's like this, you know, equally as, you know, strong, we need to get some waves that suggest pivot. And those waves, those ebb and flows, those peaks and valleys in price action are critical for market structure analysis. And that's what I'm really focusing on here, because I don't want to buy into green candles like one that we're seeing right now. Guys, this could be a complete fake out. The reality is it's not that much volume. There's not that much volume in this move to the upside. Although I'm bullish, I'm celebrating all pumps today. We got lots of good altcoins up approximately 5 to 10%. And Bitcoin in itself is up 3%. Great, good stuff. But however, we got to be really real. Without volume, without real market participation, and you can see the resistance that just caused that sell pressure, that's a weak response breaking out of the previous high. Although we got to admit on lower time frames, just quickly to address this, right? We are in an uptrend. However, I don't like uptrends that come after expansion like this. We came down hard, A, B, C, maybe a bit of a corrective move to the upside, and then all of a sudden we have trapped liquidity here, and definitely we have trapped liquidity here. Maybe we see market makers do a quick sweep, last dip, get all these people wrecked, and then start moving to the upside. And then, you know, we start going up, we start moving up, and we get that beautiful rounded bottom that we're really looking for. Now, of course, don't pay attention to timing, guys. My artwork is not, you know, cognizant of time. I'm just focusing on, like, market structure. Ideally, obviously we get a bull run, we start moving right now. I'm ready, guys. My bags are packed, ready to go to see this Bitcoin price all the way to the moon. However, we got to be real. Are we changing any direction at the current moment? Think about the sentiment that was here. People thought maybe we're ready to move to the moon as well. And look what happened. Nothing. We got rejected, came back for a low. Now, what's looking good here is a double bottom. I get it. Looks pretty good. No suggestion. It's not really a double bottom because the price did come down to reach these levels at 76 and change. That's still very possible. I like the tweezer bottom, no doubt. Good sign of a reversal. I don't like the lack of volume, but I do see the volume kicking in right here. But could this be induced by the FOMC and all that volatility emotion created by such events? Possible. So what I'm really worried about is technically getting into a position way too early and not understanding the fact that we're still in a downtrend below the 200 EMA on the 2-hour, and the daily also not looking the greatest because we are definitely rolling over below the 200 daily as well, and we are currently testing that 200 daily as, you know, resistance. If we get rejected off this 200 daily, which is the purple, the orange line, and we get rejected and we stay below it, it's not a good look, guys. It's not a good look. I'll be honest, not a good look. And we're too close for confluence, which I'm not willing to take that risk because of that. You can see that I also have the horizontal right here at 85,600, and if you look at that horizontal, it's based on the top of the volume gap, as you can see. And I think I shifted it by accident at one point, or maybe I shifted this box a little bit by accident. You know, sometimes things happen. So let's kind of just put it back. Maybe, yeah, that's probably with the line down there. And you can see that that's an empty volume gap, right? The empty volume gap suggests that the price has enough room, emptiness, without support to fall to much lower levels. If that's the case, that we confirm a downtrend, a further downtrend. So I'm a bit concerned about that. You got to admit, especially that right now things are so volatile, uncertain. And even though the FOMC meeting gave us a bit of certainty for a little while with regards to interest rates, the reality is that the broader landscape of our economy hasn't really changed, given the fact that we don't know what's going on with tariffs. We don't know what Trump's saying and where things are going. You know, the price of eggs are coming down, which is great, but ultimately we want a little bit more stability in our traditional markets, including the traditional stock market. We are seeing the Nasdaq and the you know, the Nasdaq and the S&P getting a bit of relief to the upside, but is it over? This is where a lot of people are talking recession and so on. So Bitcoin ultimately is not playing on its own terms, right? It's right now Bitcoin is looking at the traditional markets as an indicator. And it would be fair game to do that as well, right? To look at, you know, traditional stocks as an indicator, traditional indexes as an indicator for whether we're going to see people get risk on and risk off. So we know that cryptos as an asset class is risk on, and Bitcoin as the first entry to the crypto space, because of the biggest and the most common, right, is usually a good indicator to say people are ready to get it risk on. So Bitcoin at the current moment, is it telling us that we're ready to get risk on? I don't see it yet. Even though we got some good bullish news today, it looks pretty good. We're not really getting that much volume. So I'm worried about that concept. Now, I'm not that worried because I feel like Bitcoin is going to form a bottom. And if it's at worst case scenario, I'm looking at the $72,000 level if it does come down there. And I'm not waiting for that to happen. Doesn't mean that I'm not deploying, guys. Believe me, I'm deploying, like I said, weekly. Every week. It doesn't matter about the price. I'm going to do it like El Salvador does. Once a week, I'm just going to go in there and pepper some capital on large caps and ones that I have high convictions on. And that way, when we do eventually get the reversal, it's fine. Let it get going. But as soon as I see a change of character at this critical moment, I will definitely be deploying bigger bags and obviously DCAing at a level where I see a good reversal structure is going to reduce my risk. I'm going to be in a level where I can see clear invalidation of my bullish thesis. So what I'm looking at is this. Now, this is the daily time frame, so keep in mind, I want to see a bearish response. Even if we go up higher, that's fine. All good. That's fine. We did not break above this high. So that's fine. Let's go up a little bit higher. We can even go up to here. I want to see a bearish response. I don't want to see a lower low. I don't care when the lower low comes in. I don't care when the bears respond and step in. I don't mind, because I'm going to get into some leverage positions that I'll make up for all the loss opportunity down here. I don't care about catching bottoms. I want to get in when I get a bit of a confirmation and give me at least a minimum a higher low. Get in with the higher low, and then from there, I will be happy to pay attention to the higher high. Over here, I'll deploy. Okay, on the higher high, confirmation, which is the break of the previous high, I'll deploy. And that way, ultimately, I'll have an average entry of around here, and then ultimately, I'm looking for a good 5 maybe 3 to 5x leverage positions with a bit of margin to make my liquidation nice and low. I'll let that simmer and let it run to the upside, and then we'll see what happens with the altcoins. Obviously, they should do very well. But without something like this, with a confirmation low on the daily and a structural change, a change of character, guys, it is still in a downtrend, right? We could also get rejected right here and make a double bottom and a higher low, a proper higher low. That's fine. And then we go for a higher high, breaking above this one. Okay, let's do that. And then we start going into an uptrend. I'm okay with that. You know, change of character. That's exactly what we're looking for. But without it, guys, on the daily, I feel like I'm taking too much risk. And this is why I am focusing on the 4-hour, and I am slowly deploying on my 4-hour thesis. And as you can see, I've been deploying for the last couple of weeks with that strategy. I've been deploying almost all the time, but it's been a long time since I bought some crypto, guys. I'll be honest, I got very risk off right into this level. At this moment, I sold all my margin positions, and then I started waiting and being very patient for the market to recover. Now, right into here, I'm ready to go. Right into here, I'm ready to go. Even right now, like I said, I'm DCing right into this zone because it could be the pivot, a pivot that happens and slowly forms. And even if it does come down further, I think that ultimately, eventually, these entries will pay off. I'll just have to have a bit of patience. But if you look at here on the 4-hour, we can start looking at the structure that we see right here. Guys, ultimately, it's starting to look pretty good because we broke above the previous high. Now, we know what could have happened here. There's a lot of liquidity at these particular levels where people with stop losses, especially in the last minute during the FOMC meeting, people are going short, putting stop losses. Market makers want that to get hunted. It comes back down, back test in spring, and maybe we come down for that lower low. I'm not saying that this is happening, but what I'm saying is this: without volume, we're not going to get much. We're not going to get much happening here, right? And that's the reality. This market is still very indecisive, in my opinion, still very scared and uncertain about what's to come. So let's take a look at oscillators for a second here on the 4-hour. I know I didn't do it on the daily, but guys, we're still in the chop zone, and you can see that the momentum, the volatility is overbought. Orange line is way overbought. Am I going to get into a fresh long right now? Absolutely not. Every time it gets overbought, as you can see, we get a bearish response, bearish response, bearish response, bearish response, over and over and over. Why would I go right now to get into a fresh long when I could possibly see a bearish response? And we can hang out in the chop zone much longer, guys. The 50% mark is the chop zone. Every time we hang out here, we go sideways, and everybody gets chopped up, and I'm not willing to do that, guys. I'm going to be patient here, especially on the 4-hour. Okay, but again, spot DCA is not bad of a strategy. So that's that. And if you look at the momentum oscillator, okay, we got a bit of divergence here. Doesn't look that strong, but it's fine. Bit of indecision. Okay, green histogram bars, EMA is facing up. It's not bad, and it's entering the bullish control zone. It's okay. I don't mind it. Now, let's say you started to get into some long positions. Let's say it's on Bitcoin. Where are you going to put your stop loss? The only place that I would suggest thinking about putting a stop loss is underneath these bottoms. But which one are you going to choose, guys? This is the problem. There's trapped liquidity on all three. I would say the majority of it is down here, right? But if the market makers want to hunt liquidity, they're coming down to this tweezer bottom. They're coming down to this railroad track. They're coming down to this tweezer bottom. And really what's going to happen is little by little, they're going to unlock or hunt all that liquidity bit by bit if this does happen. And longs and shorts are getting wrecked at the current moment if that happens, because literally right now, shorts are getting wrecked and it comes down, and longs are going to get wrecked. And everybody gets wrecked in this type of scenario because market makers know how to get it done. Then all of a sudden, we have to make critical decisions. Is that manipulation over? Are we ready? Are market makers done filling their bags? Are whales done filling their bags? Are we ready to start reversing? So this is my major concern at this current moment, is to see what happens with the bearish response. I want to see what else the bears have left into them. Do they have enough strength to hunt that liquidity or not? As soon as I see the next impulse become a weak one, guys, it's time to think about this becoming a change of character. Why? Because we could definitely get a higher low, and that would be great, because these are higher lows as well, but not after an impulse. I want to see the impulsive move to be higher. I want a weak impulsive move. I want to see weakness in the next sweep of the lows, that the bears couldn't sweep all the way down here, and that would get me interested. And then a break of the high, guys, it's very likely that we start moving to the upside, and that's when I want to keep attention on the change of character. Again, the 4-hour and on the daily is very relevant, right? It's still very relevant. Now, if you're going to get on lower time frames and start trading the 5-minute and the 15-minute, all the power to you guys. There's lots of opportunity on lower time frames, but I'm here to grab the biggest positions I can with a decent amount of leverage for the next move to the upside. The same way I did it last time, I want to do it again, and I've done it here very successfully. You guys, I did it with you guys, where I got in with big positions, 3x, massive positions, and then at this level, I was able to de-risk completely in preparation for a less risky opportunity, which I think could be here upon receiving some of that evidence. All right, guys, so swing trader, momentum trader, that's what I do, guys. I'm not here to take chances on lower time frames only. I do like scalping, I do very often, but guys, if you want to be a part of the community, join the Discord. There's a lot of scalpers, lots of different traders, a lot of learning material there if you want to get involved, and of course, it's absolutely free. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value here in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button, does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below, and of course, join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.